Huh?
Are we expecting a celebrity?
Your left, Bob. Your left.
Okay, why don't you just tell me what you just said?
This is Tier A1, and basically Tier A1 is a non-aggressive classification of the tier. There is 102 inmates.
Name?
Edward Urban.
What's your charge?
Burglary, 2 aggravated batteries, and possession of a firearm by an ex-felon.
What do you think about mandatory sentencing?
Mandatory sentencing, in the manner that you described it to me, is oppressing. Is squashing a man who's been convicted previously of a felony without any consideration whatsoever. It doesn't take into account humanity, anything whatsoever of that nature. It's just completely squashing a man's rights in its entirety. It gives him really no alternative to lead his life.
Well, what's going to stop you from going out and getting involved in aggravated batteries, assaults, burglaries? You've been here before, it hasn't worked. What's going to stop it this time?
Well, sir, it had stopped this time. The aggravated batteries and burglary was in relation to my girlfriend's home.
But you understand what I'm saying. What's going to stop you, fellas? And what I want to know is your name, whether you're sentenced or charged, what your charge is, and I want to...
My name is James DeLiggy.
What's your charge?
The charge is a probation violation.
Okay. You know what we're talking about.
I understand. If the law in America says that man should be free and abide by the law, then the courtrooms must take the filter using in them out of them. Now, I know many things they do, and it's got to stop. If they tell a man, don't do this crime, and turn around and do it yourself, then they're as guilty as the man they're trying, if not guiltier, because they use the tools of Satan, tricks. They do this in the courtrooms. Talk to your statement, they'll agree with you. Talk to your public defenders, they'll agree with you. Talk to your wardens of jails, they'll agree with you. Talk to your prisons, they'll agree with you. They use trickery on a man. They treat him with hatred, and the man learns hatred. He is no good to society when he learns the trickery they use, because he steps back out more meanful. If God doesn't come into them courtrooms again and back into them jails, they'll only learn what the statement taught them. They'll only learn what the man taught them. The lust after the flesh and the hate that goes on and the trickery in the courtrooms. That's all I have to say.
Hold on a second. Let me ask you a question. Okay, hold on a second. You got him? What's your name and what's your charge? 5 corrections. All right, give me your name, tell me your charge, and tell me how the hell we stop crime, man. Folks on the outside are saying, Jesus Christ, all these criminals have got their rights, where are my rights?
Well, my name is James Grady, and I'm charged with aggravated assault of hitting an officer. Now, I was drunk during the time. I've just been released from Racine and Monroe.
Prison.
It happened on Roosevelt and Halstead.
Get to the point, though, man. How do you stop the crime?
Now, this is the basic rules I think that we should establish. A system should be set up to rehabilitate all these criminals in here by having them all interview a specific type and group of people to come and interview these cases, covering from all these that are major crimes, starting from say a felony on up, say 30, 60 days on up,
okay,
to rehabilitate these people, a specific system that they may be interviewed. We go to court, and time again we comes back and forth. That gets to be exasperating. If a man is going to give you some time for the crime that you committed, go on and give it to him. Why lay up here? And we have improper food and so forth, and it's now we sleep on the floor all kinds of ways, and some sleep in the day room, some sleep in the cell, some...
I got your point. You know, I'm not trying to cut you short, but I want to get some of these other... Talk to you in a minute. Okay. What's your name? What's your charge? And you know the question.
Stop crime. We're trying to compensate the person that's victimized for his loss. Hey, listen, wait a minute. How can you stop that? And how can you give people money when the president himself is bringing people over here causing depression? See, when you cause depression, you don't have nothing for the minorities. They got to steal. They got to take. Why? Because it starts from the top. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
And I want y'all to put on that how they enjoy the game. How they subscribe to TV.
And I was working for the guy who bought the program. I was promoted there.
Brother to the right. Look up there, guys. Look at them.
I'd like to know your name, your charge, and you know what we're talking about. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
My name is Jimmy Fletcher. I'm here for attempted burglary. I've got 10 years.
What do you think about mandatory sentencing, Jim?
Depends on how you mean by mandatory sentencing. If you mean like for property crimes or for vicious crimes against people. I think, personally, I think Governor Walker has a good idea there with shorter mandatory sentences, providing, of course, that the money he's going to save by abolishing the parole board could be invested toward rehabilitative programs. Well, let's face it, most of the guys that are here for property crimes are here basically because of bad work habits, right? Mostly bad work habits. They get into bad work habits and pretty soon they're involved in crimes. I understand the Department of Corrections has had quite a success with the work release program. You know, the work release program, of the recidivist rate on a work release program is like 1/3 of what it is for people that have spent their time in prisons. If this money could be, that's saved on the parole boards, could be put into programs to teach men trades and let them get into work habits through the work release or similar programs like that, it seems to me like there would be a lot less recidivism.
How many times have you been through this before?
Because when men get around 35, 40, 45, the recidivism rate tends to get lower and lower as people get older, rather than the big recidivism rate is with youngsters, younger guys. When the guy's younger, the more likely they are to come back. But after the second and third time, as men get older, more mature, they begin to see the light. So therefore, why lock a man up for the rest of his life? Because when he's 30, 35, 40, settles down a bit, probably never will have no more trouble out of him.
Let me do this fellow right. I'd like to know your name, like to know your charge, and we're talking about people who are in prison. Folks on the outside think maybe it's not going to work. Maybe some folks should just be put away forever because you're not going to ever help them.
Well,
Your name and your charge first.
my name is Prophet Curtis Metcalf, and I'm charged with murder. I'm charged with murder. I'm a prophet. I've been in many prisons all through the United States, and I haven't seen much justice coming from the top. If the president want to do something about crime, when he start to clean it up from the top, and then it trickle down to the lower class of people, to the poor class of people.
But some people are going to say that's a cop-out on your part.
A cop-out? What do you mean a cop-out on my part?
That you're making an excuse for yourself. You're saying you clean it up there.
I'm not making no excuse for myself, but the people that have is in authority, them the ones that should clean it up first. They should have a clean house there at the top. Then when they clean it up from the top, then the little man ain't got no chance of committing no crime.
Can you understand that people are in fact concerned about crime on the streets? Do you see any justification for the fear that people have?
But that's where crime should be cleaned up from the top, because they haven't got no right to commit crime, because they're the one in authority, and that's why crime should be started cleaned up from the top. The ones that got the power, the one that's in charge of things. They the one that commit all the crime. They commit all kind of crimes all over the world every day. And they the one need to stop committing crime, then maybe the little people will stop. They are leading the little people wrong by committing a lot of crime themselves.
Okay, like your name, your charge, and you know what we're...
Way it would eliminate the cost of feeding us and housing us. If they're no more concerned than that, just go ahead and get rid of it.
You're not serious.
Yeah, well, why? I'd as soon be dead as spend my life in prison, know that I had no hope of coming out.
How many times have you been in before?
This is the second time. Never here, once in Ohio and one time here. And I've been in here 24 months and 3 days, and I can't even get tried.
Yeah.
All right, I want to know your name, your charge, and what you were talking about concerning rehabilitation.
My name is Daniel Fagan, and my charge is armed robbery burglary. And being young, I don't have too much dealings with the adult division of the Department of Corrections, but in dealing with the juvenile division serving time, I underwent programs that were designed and set up for rehabilitation to keep me out of where I'm at right now. These programs were, and I went through a lot of them, were impractical. There was no use for them. To build small lawnmower engines and to learn how to drive a car. Things like this were considered rehabilitation for me. I was taken out of high school 2 months before graduation. That was my, big rehabilitation, to learn how to drive cars. There's no programs to keep a young man from committing crimes later, and there's no programs for an older man to commit.
All right, now you're in here with a lot of fellows who are a lot older. They've got a lot more experience than you. You've been hearing a lot from them. When you get out of here, you're going to try to go straight as a result of what they've told you, or you're going to become a little hard and a little bitter about it and say, the hell with it?
I'm bitter from being here as it is. I'm here 12 months now without trial. If I'm released or if I get a break,
Your charge, and whether you think there are guys in this tier who are beyond rehabilitation.
My name is Jesse Cobb, and I'm charged with carrying a concealed weapon. And which I'm 49 years old. I had a job working at the steel mill. So now I try to get the judge which to give me a year's probation suspended sentence, which so that I could hold my job. Now, I cannot get a job like this no other type of way. Now, like the guy said, I was making $150, $250 a week. All right, now, I probably lose my job. I can't get no job. Okay, I got a family. What's for me to do? I ain't got nothing to do. I got to go out in the streets and get me something. My kids can't go hungry. They can't go hungry. The man give me 90 days. I lose my job. What else for me to go back out there and do something?
All right, okay. I want...
Increase the cost because more people behind. But it reduces. It's going to raise the cost.
But it reduces...
It's going to make the men more dangerous when they do that. The longer time they spend, the more dangerous they are. What we need is to change in the judicial system.
That would be wrong. That would take long. They don't take them to a goddamn jail no more. They take them to a hospital. You can put something.
Guys, a good work ethic, give the guy something to work for, a decent job out there, a decent house, a decent wife, and keep on his ass.
The fact is, you think there are people who can't be removed?
No, I don't. No such thing. That's like saying you can't be hypnotized. I don't know what to be hypnotized.
What they're rather than talking about.
I would say the likelihood of some guys not being rehabilitated is really great. But it's still possible.
That's all right. They're not bothering us at all. Okay, I'm talking. And we'll be ready to go in just a minute, and I've got to keep talking to you. And I truly do appreciate your time. I was getting draggy in there, and I didn't want it to keep going. But, you know, it's the kind of thing where I...
Just get the name.
All right, so let's talk just a minute about what we were saying earlier, about the kinds of people here, careers, and all the rest of it, and you know what we were talking about earlier.
Right. Well, I think personally it's a sad state. The fact that an individual would be put in a career of crime, so to speak. We do have individuals in here whose lifestyle totally encompasses the fact that he's going to commit crimes, he's going to come in jail. In some cases, he gets ready for this. He builds himself a fund for attorneys and for bail money, and he knows he's going to get arrested. He knows he's going to get busted, and he knows in some cases he's going to go to the penitentiary. This is basically because the system, in some cases, has contributed greatly to this. This mandatory sentences on crimes has been tried in many states. In essence, in my opinion, you're giving up on the individual. You're saying, okay, after X number of times, 3, 4 times, a mandatory sentence of life or a mandatory sentence of 20 years. It's not going to help. You need to deal with the person individually, and you need to have programs that are effective for that person.
But they've got to come from the same government that is perhaps getting frustrated with the failures of the past.
Yeah, well, the prisoner himself has to have a completely different outlook. He has to have confidence in the criminal justice system. He has to have confidence in whatever rehabilitation programs he will enter into, educational programs. If he doesn't have confidence in the programs, then the programs are a waste.
You think he should have confidence in the programs, in the system?
In this present system, the state penitentiary system, I don't think he'll ever have confidence in. In the county jail or the Department of Corrections here at the county, some of the programs we have, he should have confidence, and he should make the attempt because the people here are trying to deal with him effectively and trying to deal with him so it'll benefit him. No person is ever going to do anything. He'll never respect anything else till he first respects himself, and that's the whole problem.
Really well said.
Well, yeah, I'm a great brainwash.
Truly well said.
Maturity. Eventually everybody matures. I mean, you get to 45 and you've been in jail 12, 15 years. You're through. You either straighten up, get your act together, or the system will bury you. And you decide what you want to do. If you want to be buried, and in fact the system will bury you. If you don't, then you go ahead on and try to do the best you can with what you got, I guess is the best way to sum it up.